Sean Salisbury here. Let's take a look at some of the college and NFL things that are happening this last day or so, and some of the things that needed to happen also. First of all, Eric Mangini, the coach of the Cleveland Browns now, is going to be hired, 4-year contract. Going to bring in Rob Ryan from the Raiders as his defensive coordinator, which I think is great. And his brother Rex is going to be a head coach in this offseason also. But what's interesting is the Cleveland Browns had Romeo Crennel, a Bill Belichick pupil, out. Now Eric Mangini, a Bill Belichick pupil, in. So Belichick's tree continues to grow across the league, and he's probably going to end up losing his offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, to a job also this year, more than likely, as a head coach somewhere. But Mangini gets the job. Cleveland will have instant credibility, a guy who had his team on the brink of the playoffs and got fired. But I think he'll be a good fit in Cleveland, and Cleveland did not want to wait around to hire somebody, and they did, and I think it's a good get. Mike Nolan, former 49er head coach, more than likely going to be named defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. This will be a great move for the Packers. Mike's background's on the defensive side of the ball, and he will bring something to the table for them, and the Packers will no longer be a defense that gets pushed around via the run game. Mike Nolan will fix that. He's been in Baltimore before. He understands how to be around good football players, and he's got some in Green Bay. Their scheme will be very, very good in Green Bay, and I think that's a great get. Jeff Jagosinski, Boston College coach. I said in my blog and my video a couple days ago that I'd do the same thing. I'd fire him. Fired as Boston College's coach for interviewing with the Jets. Now, tells me that Jagosinski wanted out, because to go to an interview and not sure if you're going to get hired, to give up a good job like Boston College, I think you're going to see more universities do this, because the kid's the one who suffers. As I've said before, go back and look at my video. The kid suffers because the coach gets to go and come and go as he pleases, guaranteed contracts. If he goes, he still gets paid. The kid gets stuck if you go to school because of the coach, and then he leaves. Then you're stuck there, and you have to if you're going to transfer, you have to sit out a year or two if you transfer in conference. It's bull, and I think Boston College did a great thing. I think you'll see more universities fire coaches for going to interview when they've just got the job within the last couple of years. I think that's a good idea, and I think it had to happen. I don't like seeing people fired, but in this case, Jagosinski knew what was on the table. Pac-Man Jones, Cowboys got rid of him, and they should have. How many times does this guy have to screw up off the field? And we'll give guys chances, and I understand that. But when you mess up off the field, you better be a damn good player on it. And he's an average player. Great talent and speed, but I know a lot of guys that are sitting at home watching football on Sunday that have talent. But he's an average corner with great speed, an average kick returner. I mean, he's returned some when he was in Tennessee. But you know what? He drops the ball. And his football IQ, which means his football, like an Ed Reed, whose football IQ is through the roof, good. Pac-Man Jones, if you watch him, is not a really smart football player on the field. His football IQ is not very good. So if you got a guy who's messing up off the field and doesn't bring anything to the table for the most part on the field, you got to get rid of him. The Cowboys made the right decision. So there's a lot of things going on in the NFL. There'll be a lot of coaches looking at jobs and getting interviewed. And like I said, this is going to be a crazy offseason, because I don't think the coaches that were going to get fired, or the ones that have been fired, the ones that have not been fired, I still think there's some that could go. I think the teams are waiting until the end of this to see what goes on. A guy like Steve Spagnuolo for the Giants, Rex Ryan, they're going to get jobs more than likely while their teams are in the playoffs. Obviously, they've gone through some of the interview process, but now with the playoffs, their teams, and they are focused on their teams right now. But got a lot of things going on in football, and a ton of things going on with the national championship game coming up in college football. Two major keys to look for. I've written about it, talked about it. For look and see how many touches Tim Tebow has running the football in the game tonight. See how many touches he has carrying the football. And if he's up around 20 to 25, Florida's in perfect rhythm. And on the other side, how does Oklahoma, who has, I think, 50 plays of 25-plus yards or more this year, how is Florida's defense going to match up to that? Do they blitz or do they play zone? Because Oklahoma's made for the big play. And if Oklahoma is making the big play in this game, Florida's going to be in trouble. So is physical better than finesse? We're about to find out in this game tonight. I'm leaning towards Florida a little bit because I think Tim Tebow knows how to win. But Oklahoma's got a lot to prove. The last 4 BCS games, they haven't won. It's time for them to get fresh legs and try to make some plays. Finesse versus physical, who wins? Some would argue Oklahoma's going to tell you they're physical, but their offense is finesse. We're about to find out if their offense can deal with a physical Florida defense. I'm Sean Salisbury for Open Sports.
Think you can complete the drive? Play today and get an automatic entry to win daily prizes, 2 tickets to the big game, and a brand new car. Start your drive today at opensports.com.